Yeah. So hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So last class, I think it's around 3 days ago. Okay. I have. I think we have class on Tuesday, right? So 12, 13, 14, and I have taken leave. Okay. I think this is last and final because we have some. I have some medical issues, so I have taken. So don't worry. Today and tomorrow also we have class. We'll cover these leaves from now. Okay. Don't worry. And yeah, so last class we have discussed about data binding, okay, and how to make a two-way data binding for React application, right? So how to get data, how to display data from the JS file to the component and from component back to the JS file. So generally, when you talk about the React architecture, you'll be having the view parts and you'll be having a component. Okay, so this will be the view and this is your actual JS file we actually called as the model. Okay, so first we need to know how to bind between view and model. Okay, if you can fetch this view specific data here and so this data we will send through the server. Here we'll be having a server and sorry, here we'll be having a server and service, so will display data in between. Redux and all will come, okay, for state management. So this is actually the flow. Okay, we just know how to bind it and then we'll go with the next concept like routing, HTTP, form handling and all, right? Okay, so in this pattern we have example as last class change username. Okay, so we know how to get the state data display here and what you type. Actually, it's supposed to display here, right? 1 minute. Let me go to components, change username. Yeah, I have a state username. I have updated, but I have not display. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Let me display for time being. P dot h3 display. It's not Angular, it's a React. Okay, so this dot state dot username. Okay, so let's check. Yeah. So when I type something, yeah, it's display. So data has been binded, and this data will send to the server, service, and all the next level. Fine. So in the same category of form handling, we are going to discuss some other examples. Okay. So what are my examples is first example I want to discuss same concept only, but in a different example. One is change select box. Okay, first example is change select box. So what a change select box is, you'll be having a select box, okay, with some options, okay, and in that any option you select, that option I have to display on the screen, okay, using the same React component and binding concept, okay. And after this, we are going to discuss a small application that is SMS application. So it's not complete application, it's just the front end. So where you're gonna type some data in the text area. So this is select box. This is gonna be the text area. So in text area, you're gonna type some message, and in the below, you will get the number of characters you type. Okay, so mostly 100 characters is maximum you can type. So like that, we can make a condition. Only 100 characters you can type, and I just want to display the characters number as well. Okay, and one more is I want to display an example of show password. Show password. Show password is since you'll be having a checkbox here. It's a different again. So here select box, here text area, here checkbox. So here you have a checkbox and password box. Okay, you will be typing a password and you have a checkbox to show password. Okay, so when I click on the checkbox to show password, I want to display the password. When I want to hide the password. Okay, so that's an example. And another one, let's make a login example, a login form. So I have a different way of handling the form data. So one is login form. And one complex way we'll see what is this registration form. Okay, form handling and all we'll see in future classes. Okay. Yeah. So login form, registration form. So this is my forms example. So let's start with select box. Okay, so let's design a select box and display the selected option on the screen. Okay, so first let's make a change select box. To make this, everything is one component. Okay, so and always remember we are discussing in the React fundamentals module only class component. Okay, in the hooks module we'll discuss functional components. So now yeah, in the components I want to create a new component called change select box. So let's right click, new, TypeScript, and I have taken a same example. The project is the same existing application which you are trying already. Okay, same components folder and same change username, and we have it output here. Okay, so now I create new JavaScript. This will be change select box. Okay, and let's make the class components. So import React from React, and you have to write a class change select box. Okay, so this has to extend from React dot components, and you'll have one constructor, one render function. So let's say con tab and also ren tab. Okay, let's make some h2 change, not here, let's say change select box. Okay, and then let's say export default change select box. Done. This is your structure, and let's add this to the app component so that we can see the demo of it. So app.js, let me comment out this. I don't want this change username as of now. I'll just add change select box. Okay, so as soon as you add this custom tag in the app, automatically this display on the screen, because this is coming from the app root components here. Yeah, let me design this and then we'll talk about the data binding and all. So first of all, in here I will take one. We also discussed the fragment concept, right? I don't want this extra division. Let's make this is react dot fragment. Okay, so root level tag. Inside I want one container, one row, and call MD I think around 6. Okay, in this one card body. Okay, let's check. Let's add some magenta some bootstrap setup. Okay, so let's also add card header. I want to make sure the concept on the header. So BG is something called primary and text white. Okay, let's make p dot h4 uh, change select box. Okay, so you got the heading change select box. Yeah, here I want to make a select box. When I select, I want to display that option in the right side. So it means two columns required, one column select box and one column the selected option. So in this, can we make one row, first column and the second column, two columns. First column you have a form select box. So let's add a form in that one division with the class called form form group. You can make just regular select box, but I want bootstrap setup. So this will be what select box select select with some classes. Select with the class called form control. Let's check what we get. Yeah, you got select box here. Are you going to have some options inside? Okay, you can make a option tag. Okay, option with the value. Just say select an option, something. Select an option or select a technology, anything. Okay, let's take select an option. Just make empty, select an option, and we need some more options here. Let's add them here. Let's add option with the value just React.js. Okay, and display also. React.js, and I need um, Angular, and this it will be an Angular. Okay, and I need another one Vue.js. Okay, this is Vue.js, and one more. I just take it as Ionic. Is for mobile development. Ionic. Fine, more options, and one more. I think I can take Google Flutter. Okay, so you have multiple technologies here. So React.js, Angular, Vue, and all. Fine. So my plan is when I select React.js, I want to display that React.js here. So how it's possible? It's very simple. In React.js, if you wanted to fetch the value of this guy and display here, it means whenever the change event, because this is a change. Okay, when you select an option is nothing but JavaScript change events. The same change event we also apply for the React component. So when I change a particular option, let me fetch the value of the option and display here. So display purpose, we need some data in the state, so that some empty data should be there in the status, some empty variable in the status. So when I change it, I update the status. So automatically that state variable will display here. So what I'm saying is, here in the state of this component, I write status. So this dot state is equal to an object. Okay. So what is my plan is, let's take option. Assume I have set an option called Angular. Okay. It must be empty, but I'm just writing I have taken an option Angular. Okay, so this Angular selected option I wanted to display here. How you display, and where is this is a column. Yeah, in this column I display so p.h4 expression. So how to get data of state? This dot state dot option. Okay, this dot state dot option. So option value what? Angular. So you get the answer here as Angular. Okay. Now state is having Angular, so Angular has display. Suppose if I change the state option to something called React.js manually, what happen? It will display React.js. Okay. So now we have binded the component specific data, the JavaScript specific state data to the HTML view. Okay. But what's my plan is, I don't want to do this manual process. Yes, anyway, we have binded. That's the first step. But I don't want to do this manual process. I don't want to change this every time manually to get this. Okay, so this has to happen based on my user events. Okay, when my user selects something on screen, then I want to change. It means what? You need to bind the same state variable for this event. It means when an event happens, this value need to update to the same state variable, so that all the state variable I'm using. So if you update Vue.js, it will display. If you update to Ionic, it will display. Okay, so binding is done. Okay, so I don't want this now empty, because I want to display as of now this empty data if you don't select. Yeah. So next step is, when I change, update the state. How? So when a change means apply the change event on a select box. So back to here, your select box. Let's add on change. Okay. You need to call a function. So let's say update option is my function. Okay, but it is a class. So class means you have to this keyword. So this dot update option is my method which will update the value. Okay, so on change is equal to this dot update, and you never make the brackets, so we discuss that concept. So let me copy this, create this method in the class. So somewhere here, public, I think, oh sorry, it's not TypeScript, no. Okay, directly like this, update option is equal to one arrow function. Yeah, So here you get the events. Okay, so we have discussed this function only. So this, whenever you apply an event for one function, so automatically this event will come as a parameter for this function. This event indicates the change event. Okay, so how you get the value what you have selected is event dot target dot value. So event dot target is a sense the target element which you have applied the event is select box. So event dot target is select box. That value means the selected value. See, we have a value React.js Angular, so that's value. So that value I want to attach to what? My option. Option is there in the state, and how to update the state using this dot set state. So let's make this dot set state. Okay, is an object inside option. We have only one property option with the value. Option with the value what? I get the value from here event dot target dot value. Okay, so this will give you the value of your select box event dot target dot value and attach to the option. So it means whenever change happens I'm updating the state, so automatically the state variable I'm displaying on the screen as well. So whenever you change, update the state will display on the screen. It means whenever you select something it will display on the screen. Okay, so this is the example. So I repeat, simple, anything you want to display on the screen dynamically, it must coming from the state. Okay, so see here, this is displaying dynamically, no? So this is has to come from the state. So create one state variable. And when you want to display that changes for some event, what is the event? When I change something here. So apply change event, update the state, automatically it will display because this is coming already from the state. If you update in the background, it will display here. Okay, so this example is done. And yeah, next example is SMS application. So this is text area. So I'm going to type something and display the number of characters what you have typed. Interesting one. Let's me create a separate component for this one. Okay, so do one thing. Let me detach the select box from here. Let me comment this control shift slash forward slash to comment that nothing is there. Yeah, let's create a new fresh component for SMS app. So components folder, right click, new JavaScript, SMS application. Okay, so same structure. Okay, import React from React and class SMS app extends React dot component and constructor con tab and render REN tab. Let's say h2, what is this, SMS app, and then simply export default SMS app. Done. Okay, so let's connect this to app.js here, SMS application. Okay, now here let's check what is come. Yeah, it's connected. So let's make a nice card format and all. I just tell you how it works. One card with card header, card body, and card footer. And card body you type the box, and you in the card footer you display the results. Okay, so I want this to be a React dot fragment. Yep, inside same story of structure, one container. Okay, and some margin top 3. Yeah, let me design it. One row ROW. Some column D6, and one card header. So card body. Okay, same like previous one, card header and body. And I need one more card footer also. So card. So if you want to know this Bootstrap setup, you can just watch my tutorial on Bootstrap on my channel, UI Brains. Okay. So in here, card header, let's add some nice color, PG warning, text white. Okay. So inside I'll add some p.h4 SMS application. Okay, you get SMS application, some different color. Yeah, in this part, this card body, I want to make a text area. So text area as a sense comes under the forms concept. So let's add a form inside. Let's add a form. Okay. So form contains what? Again, bootstrap setup of forms. So with the class called it's form group. Form group inside. Let's take a text area. Okay, text area. So let's add some rows, some 4 rows. Okay, 4 number of rows, and give a class called form control. Let's add some placeholder. Let's say your text or your message here. And so we are getting little warning here. What is the warning is XML tag has empty body. Okay, collapse empty tag. It means if any tag is having some empty body inside, you can just self close it. Okay, so that's what they're expecting. Yeah, self close it. Done. And now check. Yeah, you got the text area. I'm gonna type something. Yep. So I want to display that number of count here in the body, in the card footer, this area. Card footer, let's add some p.h4 characters remaining. I want to display some span, some number 100. And can we give some color called something called class font weight bold? Yeah. Okay. I have characters remaining 100. Okay. So now what's my plan? Yeah, this is a setup, design done. Now plan is whatever I am typing. If I type one character, so it must be 99, 100 minus 1. So maximum 100 characters allowed. Okay. If I say one more character, so 98. One more character, 97, like that. So 100 minus something. So here, what is dynamic? What is dynamic? This number is dynamic. Okay, this is just event. Okay, so this number is dynamic. So what you do, any dynamic data you want to display, it must come from the status. So you declare a state variable called counter that has to update here. So what happened next time when I type something, I update the state, it will display here just like the previous. So I want this to be dynamic. How? Simply you create a state variable. So this dot state is equal to an object inside. What do you want? I want count. Okay, count will be just add some 100. Okay, let's add 1000 just for time being. Count is 1000. I want to display that count value 1000 here. How? Simple. Here let's add expression this dot state dot counter. Okay, if I add this dot state dot counter, so count value what 1000, automatically 1000 display. If you want, you can cross check. I can change this to 50 by manually count variable of stater. It will update to 50. Okay, so yes, we have binded the state data to HTML. Fine. And now I don't want to update this manually here. I want to update this state variable from this one. It means when I type something, then I want to update here. Okay, so how you do? You're applying an event, right? So this what you're typing is an event called input events. I think you can add change event also. Let's try. So when the change event happens, get this value, but I don't want to display the value. For example, when I enter one character, okay, when I enter one character, this will be, it must be 100, no? Yeah, it must be 100. Starts from 100. Okay. When I enter one character, 100 minus 1. 1 means what? This value length. Previously we display the value. Now it's length 100 minus length. First let's add event. Change event on my text area. So back to text area. Let's add on change is equal to this dot update count. Okay, So this dot update count, my own custom method. Copy this. So let's create here update count. So what I'm doing is update count is equal to one function. Yep, here you will get by default is event. So event.target.value contains what you type, that I attach to the count. Let's see once. How to update the stage? This dot state dot sorry this dot set stage. Okay, inside you have an object. In that counter will be what's your count? Can you take event dot target dot value, just like previous I have done event dot target dot value. Can you see what happens? Event dot target dot value means the data what you type in the text area display in place of counter. Okay, let's check. Suppose for example I type n, I got n a v. Okay, I don't want this to display. I want the count of it. I mean, I want the length of it. It's just string only. So obviously I can just say value dot length, string method length. So what happens? Now its length will come. For example, I type one character, it's one, two characters, two. So whatever the length, so that length is display here. Fine. But I don't want that length also. See, it is 100, no. When I enter one character, it is 99. It means 100 minus 1. So existing count to minus length. But how to get the existing count? State dot counter. So simply do one thing. This dot state dot count minus my length. Okay, existing state count minus the text entered length. So update to the count variable. So now check back here. When I type one character, it's 99. A, B, C, D, like this. So keep reducing. Oh, something happened. Actually, do what happened? Acha, I understood. Actually, we made it the dummy logic. Thing is, count minus length. So if count is 99, 99 minus length. No, no, no. Can we do one thing? 100 minus length you make, because count value fix 100 value. Okay, if you make count to minus, so dynamically what is there, that minus this one will come. Okay, so that's not a correct formula. Let's make 100 minus the length. So 100 is fixed. Okay, now check. uh, I type 1 2 3 4. Yeah, it's now perfectly working. Okay, but one problem is there. 1 2 3 4 0, right? It has to stop actually, but I'm typing is going beyond, I mean less than minus. So we have to stop this value exactly at 100. How to make that is just general HTML thing. How to allow a text area to accept only the fixed number of characters is 100. Okay, I want to make sure it allow only 100 characters. How you do that is, you just add something called here max length attributes. Suppose I say 10. Okay, if I say max length 10, what happens? It will take only 10. See, I'm typing it. I think you can hear the sound. I'm typing it but not allowing more than 10 characters. Okay, so you can make this as 100. Okay, so what happens now? You get, if I type, it stops at 0. Okay, it won't allow more than this number of characters. But fine, I don't want to statically 100, right? Can you make this dynamic? Do one thing. I can take count also 100, max limit also 100. So 2. Okay, so max limit and counter. So what I do, so this 100 I replace with max limit. Okay, max limit. How? This dot max, this dot state dot max limit, maximum characters, max limit minus length. So you get the count. One more thing, I wanted to see the state. Is it really updating only count or is it changing max? How to see state data on the screen? How to visualize the state on the screen, because state is now an object. So how to visualize? You can add a something called pre-tag. Okay, slash pre-tag. You can write an expression JSON JavaScript object JSON dot stringify of this dot state. So we can visualize the state. Okay, now what happened? Yeah, so max limit 100, count also 100. Okay, now when I'm changing, yeah, count is updating. Perfect. Client count is working, but max limit is not changing. Fine. So that's what I expect. Yeah. Now I have max limit. So can we take this max limit in here as well? Because max length, not just static. I want to read from dynamic. So you can just add expression here. This dot state dot max limit. Yes, so that's dynamic. If you change that to 1000, automatically it accepts 1000. Okay, so max length will be max limit. Fine. And now check again. Back here, if I type it, yes, it stops exactly at 0. Okay, fine. And I don't want to display this data because it not looks good on the screen, some raw data. So I just comment it. If you wanted to make debugging, then you can use like this. But I just my comment. If you want to uncomment, select the line, complete line you select, control shift to slash forward slash, and again control shift slash comments. Okay, so now happy. My application is working as expected. Fine. So this is the second application of SMS application of data binding. And one more example I wanted is show password. This is really interesting. Show password means I have a password box and one checkbox. So checkbox name is show password. So when I check the checkbox, I want to see the characters. When I uncheck the checkbox, I want to see dots. Okay. So let's see how it's possible using React. Again, this is one separate component. Let's create a component, design, and then we'll talk about the logic. Okay. So let me close this. I will comment this guy. I don't want it. Only focus on what. Yeah, it's commented. Let's create new fresh components in this. Right click new Java steps. This is what is this? Yeah, show password. Show password. Yeah, again class components. So same structure React from React and class show password extends React dot components capital components. So constructor and render con tab ren tab. Okay, h2 show password static text to display as of now, and export default is show password structure ready. Now let's attach this to the app once. So show password done. Okay, actually why I'm commenting this is if you uncomment them, everything will display. Okay, so our focus will go. See, if you want to test, I mean while learning you can make uncomment everything. Okay, so everything will display here. If you uncomment all our examples, so this is our first example, this is second example, this is third example, everything will display, but I don't want to focus on these guys. I want only focus on this guy. So that's the reason why I commented everyone. Okay, only the thing which you wanted that you can display. Yep, only show password, everything commented. Yeah, so show password, let's make a design of the card again. Same story, container and all. But this to be what? React dot fragment. Okay, one container, one row, one column, a card, one card header. Same setup, man. Actually, we need to take a copy of this. Why to type every time? Waste. Okay, card body, nice new color. What color? BG danger. Red color. Text white. You get some nice red color box. Some margin top. Okay. Yep. Here in the card header, I want to display some heading. What is that? P dot H4 or H3. Example what? Show password. Show password. Okay. So here I want a password box with a checkbox. So that is comes under Bootstrap input groups concept. Okay, forms only, but input group. So can I get the input group code? If you know Bootstrap, you can type it. If you have any doubt, you can just check the official documentation of Bootstrap. It's not a problem. Okay, that's not an issue. Okay, because we can't remember everything, right? We can't by heart everything. So I wanted the source code of input group. Simply go to my Bootstrap website. Okay, here I think you can find in documentation left side components. You can find something called input group. Yes, exactly this one. Yeah, this is input groups. You can have some this one and something. I want here checkbox. Same like this. Here checkbox. I think something will be there for us. Yeah, exactly this one. Okay, here I can type. Not text password. Okay, this course code is here. Let me copy this as it is, and where I paste, yeah, in this, but it must be a form. So let's add a form tag once, form, and paste. Okay, some problem has come. Wow, nice. Parsing error expected corresponding JSX closing tag for input. Input tag must be closed. See, input tag is there, but there is no closing. That's a problem in JSX of React. So you must have to close it. Okay, where is that input? Yeah, here is the input tag, but this guy is not closed. Let's make a simple slash. Happy. Everything is gone. Huh? Oh, here also one more input. One more slash. So everything is happy. Okay. Fine. So you should be very careful with these things because it must be closed. Every any tag, it can be any tag, must be closed. Okay, and must not be empty also. Yeah, but I want the checkbox this side. Mm, okay, but this also looks good, no? Fine. Can be, yeah. This must be what? Password. This must be password actually. So what they given input type? Text is given. I make it password. Okay. So now it will be password. When I type it, password has come. So okay, so design is done. Okay, design is done. Now thing is, when I type something, you got all dots. So when I check the checkbox, but I want to see that name because how other people knows about. Okay, when I check the anyway, it is there in the heading though. Okay, that's fine. So when I check the checkbox, I want to see what you type. When I uncheck the checkbox, I want to display back dots. That's a plan. But thing is, okay, when you check the checkboxes in events, so we'll do the event handling, fine. But how this dots can be visible? It's very simple. In the background, what they do is, see here, I'll do manually through DOM, and then I tell you with React. See, I don't want to touch anything here. I will just do more DOM manipulation in the browser itself, in the console window. You can just watch it. For example, elements here. If I can go to div root to app container, it's too much depth inside. Yeah, form input group. Yeah, password. See here, input type is password. That's why dots are there. For example, if I change this password to text, okay, you can do a DOM change manually here. If I change that to text, automatically what happened? Text has been displayed. If I change that to date, what happen? It'll become date field. If I change that to something called range, so it will change to range selector. Okay, when I change back to text, it become text field, text box. Okay, I think by this time you understand. Let's make this to password. So same text has been dots. Okay, so plan is if you wanted to display the text, what you type, convert just type the input type to text box. Okay, how? Because we never change password back to text box. Okay, because there is no option to display text or password. Okay, there is only way, that is in the background you change password box to text box, automatically what you type will display. Okay, and when I uncheck again password, you change it back to the text. So in this case, what is dynamic? Okay, previously count is dynamic, and before that text what you, I mean the option what you select in the select box is dynamic. But here what is dynamic is this input type is dynamic, right? It must be password sometimes, it must be text sometimes. So this will be dynamic. So dynamic means it has to come from the state. Okay, if it is coming from the state, we'll modify the state using this event. Okay, so I want this to be a dynamic, this text, this type. Okay, so we'll do one thing, because only the type of the box has to change, either text box or password box. So we'll do one thing in this particular here. So this dot state is equal to an object. In this I say input type is equal to, I just starts with password. Okay, input type is now password. So after some time you'll make it text, and after some time you'll make it back to password, like that. So input type is password I have taken, because when I my application loads, I want this to be a password box only. I don't want to see that. When you check it, then display. Okay, so first time application loads password only. That's why I have initialized with password. Fine. But this must be dynamic for this password type. So where you add that? If you can go to the, yeah, input type password is static. Now I want to make it dynamic. Read from the state. So let's delete the static data. Let's add expression of a reactor. So this dot state dot, I think it's input type. Okay, so now type has become dynamic. It means you can handle now. Okay, so if it is state variable contains password, it will become password box. Okay, but suppose the state variable become date, they will become a date field. Actually what I have done in this inspect, see, in the inspect what I have done, that's what I'm doing through state. Okay, and if I change this to text, now what happens? It will become text box. If I change back to password manually in the state, so it will become a password box. Fine. Of course this is binded to the stater. Fine, one way. But thing is what, I want to change this text to password to text whenever I check the checkbox, right? Whenever I check the checkbox, then you display. It means what? Whenever you check the checkbox, call one method. In that method, change password to type of a state variable. Simple. So when I check the checkbox, this is an event what, again change events on the checkbox. So let's go to our checkbox. Where is the checkbox? Yeah, here is the checkbox. Okay, I'll add something called on change. So this dot what function? I can say show password, but already my component name also show password, but you will confuse. So okay, let's say something called update update check, something, some function name. Okay, this dot update the check. Copy this. Let's create a function here. It's a comment. Okay, is equal to one arrow. Okay, obviously you get the event here as we had discussed previous examples. Yeah. So what you do? Uh, Let me write an alert. I want to cross check, is it really working? Let's say checked. Okay, fine. And let's check if I write alert. Now, whenever I select this, I got this alert. It means working. And when I uncheck, same function. See, you need to observe something here. When I check the checkbox, I got the alert. It means the function got executed when I check it. Okay. Now, when I uncheck, I got the alert. It means what? When you check it or when you uncheck, for both the operations, same function is getting executed. So it means you write logic in the same function only for check as well as uncheck. Okay, but thing is, sir, how I know that check or uncheck? Wait, I tell you. Yeah, first tell me. Okay, first of all, it is uncheck. Okay, when I check it, alert I removed. When I check it, I want to change password to text. Where is that? Update the state. How? This dot set state an object inside input type. I want to change to text. Okay, input type to text. So what happened when you check it? Convert to text box. Let's see that. Let's see the results. Yeah, back here. I type something. My name I type my name. So whenever I check this, I display my name. Okay, perfect. When I uncheck, it's not gone. Okay. So it means when you uncheck, I want to display back to password. So how you write the logic? Can we do one thing? Simple, no. If it is password, convert to text. If it is text, convert to password. Based on what condition? If it is a password, input type is password. Okay, I can write a condition here. If this dot state dot input type, this dot state dot input type is equal to password. If it is password, convert to text like this. Okay. Else convert back to password. Simple. Okay, because same function works for check and uncheck. So based on the type I'm changing. If it is by default, when application loads is by default password only. So if it is a password, convert to text. Otherwise means if it is a text, convert back to password. So I hope it works now. Let's check. Yeah, I have it. I think it got refresh. This refresh is a sense. This will detect your code and does build and all. Yep. So yeah, let's type my name. I check it, display, uncheck, gone. Yes, it is working now. Yes, perfectly working. Fine. So example is done, but I can say, but we don't need to write these many lines, no? I think it's too many lines to make a simple logic. Can we use ternary operator? Yes, of course you can do that. Can we do one thing? If you want, you can keep it, but as a experienced developer, you never write these many lines. So try to reduce the number of lines. Reduce the number of lines in sense, not just simply compress lines like this. That's not uh, optimization. That's called compression. Compression tools are there already. Don't do. Let's reduce the number of lines. So how can do one? I just comment this thing, okay, because you can understand what I have done previously. Let's make a same logic with ternary operator, just true and false like that. Okay, so ternary operator, I think you know, right? Some condition will be having one condition, question mark, true part and false part, semicolon like this. So I make a condition here, set to true, I mean set to text, set to password, like the shortcut. This is like if condition, this is else condition. Yep. So the condition is what? This is the condition. This dot state dot input type is equal to password. That's my condition, question mark. Okay, if it is that, what you do? So true part, colon false part, correct? So in true part, what this dot set state I want to update to input type to text, okay? And for false part, so this dot set state and inside input type back to password. Yeah, same logic, but I have made in with ternary operator. Okay, so it is text and it is password. I have a colon in between, and don't confuse with this colon, this colon. This colon is a object specific property and with the value, but this is colon is for ternary operator. Okay, so this is up to here, and this colon, and then this one. Okay, fine. And someone is calling me. Okay, fine. So I got it. Now let's check. I have
It is
commented.
input type, Naveen.
One minute. I had it. Yeah, no, so yeah, it's something wrong.
Naveen, it was input type.
This is it. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Nice finding. Good finding. Yeah, input type variable name correct. Yeah, now check. I think it's got refresh. Yeah, so type my name and check it. Yes, it's working. Okay, fine. You can keep either one logic. It works. Fine, that's it, man. So if you want to display something dynamic, you have to keep it in the stage and update the state when events occurred. Okay, okay, fine. So now let's make another example called login form. So in login form, what is the benefit of discussing login form after we discuss of all this is observe till now every component we have only one property in a state. Okay, so let's see, sir, if we have multiple properties in the state, so how can we manage? There's something, different concept is there in the state management here. Okay, to modify the state properties, one thing is there, something tricky, so I want to discuss that one. So that's why I made an example on login form. So let's make one login form and then we'll discuss how it is. So let's do yeah, let's comment this. Yeah, and we will create a separate, yeah, this is again what separate component. Let's create a separate component of this. So components folder, right click, new JavaScript, login. Can you make login form or login? Let's say login form. Okay, login form. So import React from React, and with the class login form extends React dot components, no, capital components, capital. It's a class. Con tab, ren tab, h2 login form, export default login form. Okay, so let's go to app. I have commented. Let's add only capital login form. Okay, so you get only the login form. Yeah, let me design the login form and then I talk about the two-way data binding and form submission. So let's start here. This to be a React dot fragment. Here this will be again same story. One container, one row. So column D, I think four. One card header, card body. Okay, so card header with a class called bg success and text white. Okay, yeah, I think give some margin top 3. Okay, and let's make some heading login p.h4 login here. Okay, for login form I have two things. One is just username and password and submit button. Username, password. So here let's add a form. Again, bootstrap form components. So like div with a class called form group one input type. See automatic closing tag has come. Input type text with the class form control and placeholder the static name is username. Okay, no space. Okay, username, and I want password, so copy this, paste it. This must be a password box, and placeholder also is password. So we have username and password. So one submit button. You can take one division. Not div input type input type is submit. Value goes to login, and class will be btn minus what btn minus success and btn minus sm. Okay, I think, yeah, you got submit button. Check it out. Yep. Okay. I have a login form. Okay. Now I wanted to make a data binding. Okay. So whatever I type it, I want to bind it to the state. And when I click on login, the whole state data is sent to server. As of now, no server configuration. We just display on the console. Okay. What is the login form credential sending to server? First, let's make data binding. As we discussed the first example of change username, whatever you type, it got display. So how you have done that process? How we have done the data binding process earlier is, first thing is you need to create a state variable. You need to create a state variable, and second thing is in the tag you have to read the value. That's the value from the state, and also on change you have to update the state. Okay, you have to read the value from the state and on change update the state. This is what two-way data binding in React. Okay, let's make it now. So I have two fields, username and password. So let's get this. Can we do one thing? Yeah, let's add this dot state is equal to an object, and inside I wanted, earlier we have only one username, now we have two. Can we take username? Username is my empty, and also the password is empty. Okay. Okay, so username and password, two things, because two fields we have. But I want to visualize the state on the screen itself. Okay, so we can imagine how it's really changing the state data. So I want to see the state on the screen. So you can add just pre-tag. Okay, so slash done something. Slash pre-tag. Use expression this dot state. Okay, if I write this the state, the whole state you can see. State contains only two, so those things will display. क्या हुआ? Some problem. Oh, okay, okay. Problem is objects are not valid as React child. You can't display the whole object like this. You have to use what? JSON. Actually, in Angular we have JSON filter. Okay, but React we don't have. So JSON dot stringify, just like JavaScript, you have to do this dot state. Remember always stringify. Okay. Now check, only string will display on the screen. String type of data. Even number also we convert to string. Okay. So got this. Yeah, username, password. The now panelize when I type update the username. So how is possible? Go to go to here. Yeah, here what I do is value read from the status. So this dot state dot username. Okay, this is the first step. value read from the state. So whatever state data is there, that will read here. If you want to verify, this one, in the state you take username as my name, something, anything, username as some string. So if you read value this dot state dot username, so what happened? What is the state? Automatically it will display here. Okay, but the problem is if you trying to change it, not allow, because this is the state data you're reading, but you can't modify the state just like that. You have to call a function like set state and do it. Okay, so for that reason we'll make what? On change. On change is equal to this dot update username I take. Okay, okay, so I say on change this dot update username. So this will update the current value to the state back reverse. So create this method, update username. So let's make update username is equal to one arrow function. You get the events here is because we are applying a change event. Yeah, events. So what you have to do, event dot target dot value attached to my username. Okay, anyway, state to be empty data, because when application load nothing to be display. Yeah, now what you do is this dot set state. What do you want to do? I want to update the username. Okay, username with event dot target dot value. Okay, so this dot set state username will be my targeted elements, my text box ka value. Okay, so whatever value is there when you type it, because this function is executing for change event. So when you change, update the value to stater. So let's see. Now back here, when I am typing, yes, perfectly, username is updating. Two-way binding now, append, done. And I want to do same thing for the password as well. Password, same story. So what you do is, yeah, here, let's say the value, I want to read the value. So this dot state dot password. Okay, that's the reading the value and updater. So on change is equal to this dot update password. Okay, so on change is equal to this dot update password. So let me copy this. Let me copy this. Let's create that method as well. So update password is equal to one function. Update password is a function. So you get the event. Okay. So here this dot set state in the object password with events dot target dot value. Okay, password will be my target element, that's the password element dot value. Okay, so it's updating the state with password. Now check, I have two things, username and password as empty. So when I'm typing, I get my name, and for password when I'm typing, I get some dummy password. Okay, I got a password, fine. Now when I click on login, I want to see the form data on the console log. Generally you have to send data to server. We don't have any server configuration as of now, so let me display the form data on the screen when I click on the login. You click on the login in sense you are submitting the form data. So submit means on submit for the form. Okay, when on submit happens, so get the data and display on the screen. Anyway, data is already there in the status, so display state data only. Okay, so how is possible? Submit event. So let me go to form. I'll add on submit, React event on submit. So let's say a function called this dot submit, or just say login. So this dot login is my function, login. So let's create that login. So login there's, yeah, you get the event again here because on submit also an event. So when you call a function, you get the event by default as a parameter. Yeah, in login, what do you do? I wanted to make console.log of form data. Already form data is there in the state, right? Because we are updating the state every time. So form data is there in the state. The whole state we're gonna send to the server. I mean console log. So I just simply say this dot state that contain the data. Okay, let's check. Yep. Here, let me open inspect console window. You get some warnings because we have commented them. We have not commented the import statement, but we have commented these things in app.js. But forget about this. Let's see. Yeah, here when I type something, actually this is just for our purpose, our understanding purpose. Yeah, I type some password. When I click on login, it has to come in the console. When I click on login, it came and went. And also, when I click on login, page got refresh. Actually, the React.js and Angular is came for single page application. So single page application is the sense you never ever see a page refresh. Even you submit a form, you click on a link, and whatever you do operation on the website, you never ever see a page refresh. Okay. So to stop this page refresh, the regular form submission page refresh, you can do that using, actually in Angular you don't need to do this step extra, but in React you have to do that. Okay, in Angular when you click on submit login, it will not refresh. Okay, it will take care inside by Angular. But in React, if you don't want to refresh just like a regular application but it's a React, so if you to stop the page refresh, you simply add JavaScript thing. What is that is event, let's say event page refresh. Okay, you can do like event dot prevent default. So you need to add this extra line, that event dot prevent default. This is just JavaScript, nothing with not, this is nothing about React JS. It is just JavaScript thing. Okay, actually generally we use this for Ajax form submission in JavaScript. So same like event dot prevent default. If you call this, it will not refresh your page. Okay, but still you get data. Now check. Yeah. When I type something and something I type, when I click on login, see page must not refresh. Yeah, page is not refreshed, but I got data. So username, password I got, and this password you can send to server and all. We'll see later. But at least we got a form data. Fine, successful. We have submit the form. We got the data in a view level, view layer level. Fine. But here one small issue is there. What is the issue is, yes, of course we have update the data binding, submit the form and all fine. But thing is, how many form fields are there? I mean, one is username and password. So two fields are there in the form. Okay. So how many functions you written? Two functions. One function is to update the username. One function is to update the password. See, my question is, in the form, if you have two fields, you made two functions to update the each field. For example, in future, the real application, assume you have a huge job application form or some huge application is there, some huge form is there, which contains multiple components. Okay, there are some 100 components are there, like one text box, checkbox, password box, radio button, text area, like that. 100 fields are there. So for 100 fields, sir, is it recommended to write this 100 functions? Unnecessarily full of functions will be there, right? But if you closely observe these two functions, something is common. Okay, let's see what is that. Function name, obviously, name is there. Event is there, yeah, common. Set state, common. Event dot target dot value also common. What's the difference is, here username is there, here password is there. Okay, it means when you update username, it must be username. When you update password, it must be password. So if we can able to manage this username and password dynamically with this events, our job is done. Okay. So what I'm saying is, even though you have 100 fields, you can only manage with one function. Okay. So but that function should contain this will be the dynamic. So how can I access this username and password is using the event. Using event itself, we can access the name. How can I access the name is, see here. If I say event.target.value, what is coming? Value means the value attribute data. If you want to get this, will be the name. Okay, so you just mention, I will make dynamic. So please put your laptop in charging. Uh, thank you so much. Let me. I think it's I have switch. No, 1 second. 1 minute. Trying to charge. Oh God, my no, it's not working, man. Anyway, 8:14. Another 35 minutes. Another 1 hour it will work. Okay, okay, fine. I know some charging port not working. Yeah, it's working. Thank you. Yeah. So we have. I mean, I want the name to be dynamic. So simply, what you do, I don't want two functions. Okay. So let me uh, create a general function. What is that? Is update input. Okay, general function to update both. Okay. So here, update input is equal to one arrow function here. Yeah, of course you get the events. So this dot set state, this dot set state and object. Yeah, here I want, yeah, this is okay. What about this name and this one? Actually you get that property, you get like this event dot target dot name with the value is event dot target dot value. You can make like this, but you get the error because property must not contain dots. I can use the brackets operator of JavaScript because we have two things: dot notation, brackets notation in JavaScript objects. So I can make key. This is key. This is value, right? Object key and value. So key I make it like this because you can't use dots as a key. So I can use brackets to manage that. And value is this. Yeah. So event dot target dot name, event dot target dot value. This is the general function you write. Okay. And name is a sense for every field along with that. I just add extra name. So what is the name attribute you want to add there? I want to make name as username. Okay. And for here, I want to make the name as password because I'm updating password, right? So I need to fetch this dynamically in the function. Okay, name, username, name, password. Now what I do, instead of calling the two separate functions, let me delete them. I don't want these two functions. Username, password not required. I have only one function, general function, input. So let's call this one. So instead of update this one, update input. Here also update input. Okay, so onChange update input same function, here also onChange update input same function, but how it makes the difference to update the username and password data is based on this name. Here name is username, here name is password. So when you come to this function, what happen, event.name, when you are updating username, this name will give you username, here it's value. When you're updating the password, this will give you name is what, password, because this password is there, no, here. So like that you get a password text string here as a mention name here, and then its value. Obviously it will work. So I have removed only one function there, update input. This is just for login form submission. So let's see back here. I will type it. Yeah, it's working, and password also working perfect. So this how you will make it. So suppose you have multiple fields, 100 fields also no issue. You have only one function to update data binding. Okay, but what we have done extra, we have added along with the value and onChange, we have added name attributes. And always remember, this name must be same as what is the variable you're updating the state. Okay, state is having user name, right? The same name you take here. Suppose I take capital sir, then what happened? See what happened. See, username is there. By mistake, I given here caps. Okay, so the problem will be if I type something. See, one more, one more property is created because it's creating for capital username, and this username are not same because JavaScript is case sensitive, obviously. So make sure it must be lowercase, same as the property of the state. Okay, this one here. Okay, done. So now check. It works. It works. So now how many fields are there? Doesn't matter. We have only one function to update the binding, and this is for login. Fine. One more example in the forms I want to discuss, that is registration form. This is something next level we'll see. Can we create model class property in React? That model itself is state. That model itself is state. Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to create one more complex example. What is that? Is some more renovation for the same example. See here. Okay. I have multiple fields, username and password. It works fine. For example, just imagine something next level out of the box. What is that? Is, sir, I have two forms in the screen. Okay. One is login form. One is registration form. Okay. For example, in my screen, I have in the same page, I have two components. One is login form and one is registration form. Okay. And login form having username password, and registration form also username password and email extra is there. So here username password, here also username password. So how can I display that data here? Okay. So how can you display that type of data here is, you can take in the stater, login one object, registration one object. It means you can keep such a way that you can create like this. Your register is an object, comma, login is an object. Okay, like this. And in the register you have username password, login also username password. It perfectly works. But how you manage the state handling is different. So that's the reason why I want to take another example. I don't want to mess up this here. Let's create another example, and this inside an object. Okay, so this is not just variable like this. I want to create this inside an object because mostly we use uh, separate objects for each kind of data. So let's keep that one. So let's start with registration form. Let's create a component, design, and then this concept. So close all, comment this, create a fresh component. But this component just like login form. Okay, I want to create from scratch. Okay, so right click, new JavaScript, registration form. Import React from React class registration extends React dot components con tab ren tab h2 register export defaults registration. Okay, so structure ready. I'll add this to app. Yeah, let's add that app here. Registration. I got default message register. Yep. Let me design the registration form and then I talk about the data binding. So first of all here, what one? Yeah, I want to make this as a fragment. React, not registration. React dot fragment in that one container, one row, call md4 card. This setup is too much, no? It's something which one command to keep everything like that. card body. Okay, let's add some different color. BG secondary text to white. P.H4 register here. Okay, here only. Fine, and you got this. Let's make some margin top. Yep. So for my registration, I wanted three fields. One is username, password, and email. Okay, username, email, and password. So let's add the fields using Bootstrap. So division, class, form, group, and then input type. Yeah, this is last example for today. Input type equal to text with the class called form control. Let's add a placeholder username. Okay, so you get a username. Yeah, so username, email, password. So copy this. Username. This is email. This is password. So here email and password. Okay, so you got username, email, and password. So let's submit. Submit button required. Division with input submit button. So let's add type submit, and with the value register with the class what button it is btn minus secondary button and small button. Okay, so we got this. Yeah, let's see now. So first binding it. So binding means three variables required, but I don't want to keep the variable separately. I want to keep inside an object. So how I take a state is different way. It is like this. So this dot state is equal to an object, because in future you'll have multiple forms also in the same component. So I'll take it as user object with username. Previously we have taken all outside of user object. Okay, username empty. Now email is empty and the password is empty. Yeah, I have taken like this, and I want to see the state also on the screen. I want to see the state data on the screen, so better I write some pre-tag for debug purpose expression, and just use JSON dot stringify of this dot state. Okay, so let's check. Yeah, state contains user object contains username, email, password. Fine. Now let's update this data, and as we discuss, I want to create only one function to update all the three. Okay, so my plan is go to the inputs here. First what, name is same as this one, username, email, password. So name I want it to be now is equal to name is equal to username, same as the stage. No comma, because type class and all, no comma. Name, value is going to be what, value this dot state dot user object dot username. Okay, and on change. So on change this dot update input, one function. Okay, let's copy this and create it. This dot update input. So update input is equal to function. Obviously you get the state, you get the events as a parameter. So update how, this dot set state. In this I have a user object, right? Because I want to update a user object, no? So user object with what, username dynamic. So how, e dot target, not event dot target dot name is equal to e dot target dot value, not is equal to because it's an object colon, it is object no, property colon event. Some mistake, it's e. Okay, so I have done e dot target dot name, target dot value, just like previous, but only thing is it's in a user object. Fine, and now check only username I have updated. Yeah, so I have it. So when I type n, you got a problem. See, thing is, if you create a properties, if you create username and password just inside a stater, it updates automatically. But if I take the property inside some other object of state, then if I am typing, see three things are there in the user. When I am adding one, it's gone. Thing is, it is not keeping all the property. I'm just only updating that property, and all the properties has gone. So how to keep hold of all the properties, how to keep a copy of all those properties is you have to use ES6 spread operator. I think we have already discussed this spread operator in the previous React concepts. Yeah, you have to use spread operator dot 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 this dot state dot user. Okay, so all the properties of user will be placed here, and whatever you're updating that will be updated here. So make sure if it is direct property or if it is an object inside a state, whatever it is, make sure write this. Okay, if it is direct property, just add dot 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 stater. If it is nested property, nested object. So it just keep hold of the properties. Okay, so if you write this uh, spread operator, it will keep hold of all data, existing properties also. Okay, so this is what I want to tell you. So if I write this now, happy, if I am typing, yeah, only username is updating and email and password are already there. Okay, so that's the plan. So always remember you need to add this. Fine, and this is a general function which update everything. So for password, so password also same story. You need to give the name. Name is equal to password, and value will be this dot state dot user dot password. Okay, and onChange is equal to same function this dot update input. Okay, so let me copy the same. I think it must be not password, man, it's email. Okay, and this is also email. So copy this for password, add it. This is password, this is also password. Okay, now I will check. Yep, so username working, password something something, it's working. Yeah, so happily update the state, and this state will send to the server for form submission. So when you click on register, that's just simple submit events. So let's add that here somewhere. Form on submit is equal to this dot register is my function name. Okay, so here I'll add registration. So register is equal to one function, and you will get the event because it's a submit event, so you get the event obviously inside. And to stop the form submission, what we have done, I mean to stop the page refresh, what we have done, event dot prevent default. This line must important for form submission in React, and along with that I want to send the data to console. Simply console dot log of this dot state dot user, because not whole state, because my data is there in the user, so I just send only user object to server. Console log. Okay, and I don't want this to display every time, so comment this pre-tag. Okay, we already confirmed that state is updating. Yep, now it's happy. Yeah, let's see the console log. Inspect console window. Console window. Okay, so when I type my name, uh, an email and some dummy password, and I click on register. Without page refresh, I got data, username, email, and password. So this data will send to the server. Okay, that's the next step. Okay, fine. So we have handled this. Okay, but one more thing is I can do another way without even declaring this function. You can do that. Okay, that's the last thing is in the form handling. Without even declaring this function, you can do this step in the each field itself. Okay, let me do that example in the next component. Okay, I don't want to mess up here, so let's make without writing. Previously what happened, we made multiple functions. Now only one function will handle. Now I'm telling without writing this function also you can handle. Let's see that one. That's a perfect example. Okay, so I don't want to mess up here, so let's take a copy of the same thing. Okay, so I will do one thing. I copy this registration, I paste here, registration new I take. Okay, some new name, I don't know what to click. Yeah, registration new, click on OK. Okay, I want this to be registration new, and export registration new. Okay, and add this to there. Can we, 1 minute, I make this is bg danger. I just want to make sure some different color. Okay, danger. Let me add this registration new, not this old one, new one, registration new. Okay, so let's check. I get in different color, but same structure, everything. Yep. So here in this example, I want to tell you without writing this function also we can manage. It means this function we're going to write in the each field itself. So how you do is, let me, 1 second, some lot of people are chatting. How to redirect in the next page after clicking on a button? That is a concept of, yeah, Mohit, that is a concept of routing. We'll discuss routing in future classes, don't worry. And some Sudan, there is a HTML command for the target underscore black. Okay, okay. He is telling about the link. Okay. Sheshagiri, in value field, can we destructure the state assigned to them? Yes, yes, we can. We can do that. We can destructure it. We can actually do inside here only. In under statement only we can destructure it as you are expecting. Destructure is a sense. Let's something like this is equal to this dot. You can write like this. This dot user. Sorry. This dot state dot user. You can take like this, and inside you can take username, email, and password. You can take just like this, destructuring, and you can use them in the function. Okay, you can do like this. Okay, okay, better we'll do one thing. When we destructure here, okay, fine. And now I don't want to create this function. Delete it. If function is not there, let me uncomment this because I want to see state data. Okay, wait, I wait. I will do that in a moment. Okay, okay. What I have done, simply I remove the function. Update user function, update input function is there. I removed and enabled the state because I want to see the state. If the function is not there, if update function is not there, it won't work. Okay, so how to make this work in here is on change. Don't call a method, you can make directly. How is, you can make arrow function here. um, what do is uh, this dot set state here, user, I think it's little complex, user dot uh, this dot stage dot user. Okay, comma, username with the value is, you get the event here, e dot target dot value. You can write like this. So problem is set stage user. Oh, I made a mistake. It must be an object. Cut this. It must be an object. In that you have. Okay, same function body. What is there? I made the function body here. Okay, so this dot set stage user object keep hold of existing data and along with my username. You can do e.target.name, but I have already this name because specifically I'm writing no. That's why I'm writing username and like this. So let's check if I'm typing. Yeah, it's updating here. Okay, so if you're doing in this way, then you don't need the name attribute also because I'm hard coding, so I don't need the name here. So same story. I want to this for uh, email. I know it's a little complex. That's why I made a separate example. Here you just make it email. Okay, so each field you can do like this. And for onChange here, this will be the password. That's it. Done. Yeah. Now check. See, we don't have any function separately. Actually, what we are doing here, we are done for each field. So now I type it. It's updating email, updating password, updating, and submit. That's regular. This function. Okay. So this is how you manage. And as someone expected, can we use the destructuring concept? It means in the place of writing this dot state dot username, this dot state dot password, instead of doing this much long story, you can destructure. How can you destructure is in the return let an object is equal to this dot state dot user. The user object I want to store inside my local variables. So username, email, and password. If you can destructure like this, you can simply use instead of this dot stater you can use username, and this username is referred to my this username. Okay, and this will be the email and this will be the password. Okay, it is coming from you can press control button and hover on this, just click once, it go and show you where is the variable. Okay, just press control and click on that. Okay, and yeah, and yeah, we have simplified the logic of data binding, and we have only one function for register, and that's it. So this will send data. So as of now, I'll comment out this pre tag. I don't want to see anything on the screen, this only registration form. If you want, while testing, you can comment it. Okay, so let me open a console window because the registration form already there. Okay, so console window, let's type my name at gmail.com, and some dummy password. Click on register. Yes, of course I got data. So these many ways you can do data binding. I can say this is the best way. Okay, it looks little complex, but this is the best way. Okay, and that doesn't matter. If you want to create, you have a function also. No one will excuse. Okay, and better use this type of destructuring concept. Yes, of course you have to use this type of to avoid uh, a long length dot operators, because here we have only state with user, but in future we have state with some 10-15 nested objects will be there. So you have to write 10 dots, so user dot state dot something. So better you destructure like this, so that will be very benefit for you to write the shortcut names. Okay, so that's only one thing, and either you write here or here a function, that's not a problem. Okay, fine. So we are done with form handling, and tomorrow we are going to discuss another concept called structural directives, like how to make if-else conditions, like conditional display. Till now we display the data as it is. I want to tell you some conditional display, and I want to display a collection of objects, like an array of data. I want to display in a tabular format. Okay, some conditional rendering concepts are there. So those concepts we'll discuss, and then we'll see the other concepts. Okay, as per the documentation and as per the syllabus. Okay, so I hope that's clear today, and so please practice on these examples so that you will be more clear on this. And you can do one thing. You can go to app.js. You can go to app.js. You can uncomment all. Actually, I wanted to give you one task, so I just uncomment all. I have uncomment all. So you can see all examples here. Uh, what is this one? Okay, this is for password one. I think this is username one. Okay, I think we have not commented that. Okay, so we have all this, right? So username and all we discuss. Can you do one thing? Actually, we have made all these examples with separate function because on input one function we have made. Okay, instead, can't you write logic like this? Can't you write logic straight away here itself? Here itself. Okay, try to write this logic. Okay, instead of creating a function separately, try to manage here. So you do as a task uh, after you finish up this class, just take this as a challenge. You can take each example, make it work by using only this thing. I'll give you the hint, very simple. Copy the function body, keep in this. Simply works. Of course, we are doing only function data now. Okay, so please try to make that and try to practice these examples. And tomorrow we'll discuss some other example. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And yeah, any questions? Anyone? No? Okay, then thank you so much, and we'll meet tomorrow. And tomorrow we have class. Okay, so don't ignore. Tomorrow Sunday, but still we have class because I have taken some 3 holidays. So this Sunday we have class. Okay, tomorrow we have class. Yes. So thank you so much, and same time, same timings. So thank you so much, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.